Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This program is brought to you by Head Start to get fathers more involved. Okay? I want to thank every man that came in this building tonight, because what y'all doing by coming in this building tonight is saying something. It's saying that, you want to be a part of something bigger than yourself. It says that you're willing to grow, willing to be better. It's saying that you're willing to look in the mirror, and we call it man in the mirror for a reason. We call this man in the mirror because it's the hardest conversation we'll have is with yourself in the mirror. Tonight is not about being perfect. We're not striving for perfection. We want to be honest about it. We want to be honest where we are in our life and where we want to be, and the changes that we want to make for ourselves to become a better man and a better father. The purpose for tonight is a simple purpose. We want to spark a conversation, and that conversation will spark changes in the community. We want to make better decisions for our kids' future. Like I said, this was originally started by Head Start 3 years ago. And from that moment, we actually made something bigger out of it. Mr. Rashid had an idea from the last Man in the Mirror. Mr. Rashid is the CEO of Franklin Vance Warren. And when we did the last Man in the Mirror experience, he had an idea to make this a broader conversation, to include more men in this conversation. That's how the Dogs podcast, Dads on Guard, was born. All right? And being a dad on guard, and when we hear that tonight, if we ask you, where my dogs at, we want you to stay on guard. We all want to be on guard in our community for our families, for our kids, and for our future. Being a dad on guard means that you're present. It means you're aware. It means you're protecting. It means you're leading. Me, myself, I'm a father of 7 kids. I'm a father of 7 kids. I got kids that from all the ages. I got, my oldest is about to be 18 next month. She's about to go off to college. And I also got a 6-month-old. So I got a stretch of, I got some in elementary school. I got a little bit of everything. So I'm still figuring this out. I'm still figuring out with 7 kids. So there's no manual for this. So we can be each other's manual. What works for you, you can give advice to another father. You can take advice, and we all can grow together. We have to challenge each other to become better. Y'all know the world we're living in right now. Y'all know how the family structures are broken down right now. Y'all know how kids are being raised without a lot of fathers right now. So not only do we need to take on the responsibility for our own kids, but we got to look like, okay, we want our kids to grow up in a world that we deem successful. We want our kids to grow up in a nice world that we would like them to live in. We have control. We ourselves have control. Everybody has opinions about a whole sort of things, but we need to start giving the truth about a whole lot of things instead of just opinions. We need to start giving more examples, becoming what we want to see. Children with involved fathers are more likely to succeed. They're way more confident, less likely to get in trouble. And that's reality. That comes from the statistics. So speaking of statistics, did y'all know 1 in 4 children in the United States live without a father in the home? Did y'all know that over 18 million children are affected by a father's absence? Children with involved fathers are twice as likely to graduate college. Twice as likely with a father involved. More likely to earn higher grades in school. Okay? 85% of the youth in prison came from fatherless homes. 85% came from fatherless homes. 70% of juveniles in state institutions grew up without fathers. And when you talk about stuff like mental health, higher risk for depression, anxiety, substance abuse, lower self-esteem, emotional stability, child development, kids develop with a father at home, better language, social development, increased emotional security. Your daughters, with your father at home, you have a lower risk of early pregnancy. Often daughters find a problem, have problems with their self-worth if the father's not there. Boys are more likely to engage in risky behavior without a father telling them not to. Less direction and fewer role models when they don't have a father. Higher likelihood of poverty without a father in the home. Reduced long-term earning potential. So our families are not making as much money without the father there. With the father there, you get more confidence. You get to control your emotions. Stronger families equals stronger communities. So changing our community starts with us. How we show up, how we lead, how we love. One man's pain, one man growing is powerful. But a room full of men growing is how change happens. We want to thank Head Start for Naima for starting this program, because I feel like it's going to be something that is a game changer. Because when we get our minds right and we come together, we're going to change our future. We also want to thank Vance County Cooperative Extension, Jamon Glover, Father Figure Institute as well. This man is an expert when it comes to media. We also do a podcast, putting out a podcast. Our podcasts have reached over 2 million views when we only had 3 episodes. And that's because of the work that we came together. Also want to thank Southern Charm to give us this great space to do our meetings and have podcasts here. We want to thank Triangle North Foundation because they invested in us to help expand our conversation.
Thank you. Welcome. For those who don't know me, my name is Naima Mosley. I'm the Head Start Early Head Start Director, and I would like to welcome you to our 3rd annual Male Engagement event, other known as DOG, Dads on Guard, right? All right, so family engagement is huge in the Office of Head Start. If it wasn't for dads and it wasn't for families like you, we wouldn't even have a program. But male engagement is really near and dear to my heart, because as a little girl, her first true love is her daddy. And as a little boy, his first true love is not his first true love. His hero is his dad. So you guys matter. The spacing that you take up in this room matter. And I'm so grateful that you guys chose to come out tonight with us. So your presence in this room shows that you are present, that you care, and that you are active in your child's life. And that speaks volumes. Nothing warms my heart more than to see a dad with his child, walking with his child, coming into the program, participating in there. So if you want to come in and work with children in the program, if you want to come in and volunteer, we welcome you to come in and volunteer. We want to see more dads in our programs. We're trying to get male teachers in the classroom because it makes a difference. It speaks volumes when you step in the room. And I'm glad that you're in the room, and I'm glad to share this space with you on tonight. So without further ado, I want to introduce our panel to you guys. If you can introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Anthony Rack. I'm a veteran, entrepreneur, father of one. My son is 8. Like I said, I served in Navy for about 5 to 6 years, worked for the government another 6 years, and then I moved back to Vance County to start a family, which I got married and had a son, and now I'm doing a lot, trying to do business, trying to do for the community. I'm a football coach, basketball coach.
Football, baseball coach. I'm just trying to do whatever I can for the community. And I'm happy to be here on the panel.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Stephen Wolf. I am the father of 3. I have a 13-year-old daughter, an 11-year-old daughter, and a 6-year-old son. I am the owner of Colonel Craze Gourmet Popcorn, but I also help with some web development and media. And most recently, I was doing a lot of advocating for Vance County.
I'm Roy Brown Jr., founder of Two Kings Media. I'm also the Media and Communications Director for Franklin Vance Warren. That includes Head Start and the Youth Build programs. Like I said before, I'm a father of 7, and I work harder for my kids than I work at my jobs, even though I got about several jobs. Also a peer support specialist. In between doing media and, helping different people with peer support, I'm always with my kids. And one of the greatest feelings is when you walk into, Head Start, and I pick up my son and all the kids in the room saying, "That's Royal's dad right there." That gives me a great feeling when all the kids recognize, when that man comes in and that's their dad coming in. So, I'm just glad to be a part of the discussion today.
Thank you. So let's get started. So Roy, leadership in the community.
What was that?
Leadership in the community. So I have a first question for you.
Okay.
What does self-reflection look like for a man responsible for others?
Self-reflection, in my opinion, looks like when I take accountability, and I look at things like cause and effect. So when something happens, I immediately say, what could I have done differently to affect that? You can't control what other people do. You might have kids with a young lady might not be with anymore. You might have kids that get in trouble in school, but you always can look back. Like my son was 16 years old, and he was on a rebellious stage. Like he's trying to figure out who he is at 16. So he like, do I want to be like my dad or do I want to be like my friends? And right now, friends is cool. Friends is fun. So of course he would lean more into wanting to be more like his friends because that's what is fun right now. So I have when I address him and I come to him and try to talk to him about different things, I really can't be judgmental toward him for having it. I got to look at myself and say, what can I do different? And I feel like that's what you got to do when it comes to being a leader, especially when you have kids or if you're a business owner. You always got to look at, what did I do wrong? Did I set my employee up for failure or did I set them up for success? So as a leader, you do have to have more accountability. That's the first thing you got to master, because once you master that, then I'm always making improvements and these improvements not only affect me, they're affecting others.
That's exactly what those children mimic what they see. And in issues 19, you got to evidence my advocates and Congress is one of the advocates, but they don't know tag teams.
They gonna get us, y'all.
What is the biggest difference between when a father is present versus absent?
Well, I think the difference, it's just a consistent structure at home. I mean, and having good behavior in the home is good, but what I see that, being present, it gives
I'm gonna just say off what I see. Being present in my son's eyes, he get to see somebody that believes in him. You know, you have that every day. And when he wakes up, man, this man believe in me. I'm telling him, hey, make sure you brush your teeth. You gotta look good. Hey, make sure you do your hair. You gotta be a man just to be that masculine man in the house. That presence is everything to me. You know, so that's the biggest plus. Now the absence I see, because I coach football, I get 30-some kids. The absence I see at the home where the kids, their attitude, they're not willing to take a man. I would say they're not willing to listen to me. They'd rather listen to their mother. You know, when as if their man was in the house every day, they would understand that, hey, let me listen to this man. Let me see what this man have to say. That's why it's a lot of crime rates up, because they don't want to have authority in the household. So I say the present is big around. You know, I know a lot of people can't stay at home with their wives or girlfriends, baby mothers, but just the presence to pop up, it's just important to me, you know, and that's about it. I got to say. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. So, how would you say you balance business?
So as a divorced father, I don't have my kids at all times.
Oh, hold it, Michael. Sorry.
But the whole reason that I'm building my business is because of them and for them. We talk multiple times a week. I take every opportunity I can to spend more time with them. I engage them, their activities, and how they're feeling to, you know, stay involved with what they got going on. And then I share what I have going on in my life, including the business. They're always excited to hear about it and learn something new. When I do have them with me, they jump in. They love helping at events and packaging up my products with me and maintaining our connection while building a legacy that they can benefit from. That's one of the best things I can do for them from where I stand. It supports them now and builds them for their future at the same time. But, you know, picture my kids at the table with me, hands in the work, and learning that dad's business isn't something that takes him away from them. It's something they're part of. And that's the balance. I don't separate business Stephen from Father Stephen. They're the same man building the same thing.
What is the biggest, how early does a father's presence impact a child's development?
Say how early? So during this process, I've learned some things myself. And we can't go back in time. So I got kids that are, like I said, are older. I got kids that are younger. And what I learned, especially from that guy over there, Jamon, with his fatherhood information, that most kids, most of the training starts between 0 and 7 years old. So it's crucial that the first years we're involved and impact. You know, we might be busy trying to work, doing all these things, but you have to find time to be involved in your child's life early. And she knows, especially when I show up to Head Start, how important it is. My son runs to me every day when he sees me. You want to give that impression early on. You become the person you are before you're 7 years old. So all the trauma and everything that happens when you're before you're 7 years old, that starts to pop out, appear, and different things start to happen when you don't be there early on and make sure you're protecting your children and teaching them things in the right way. So I believe that being there early and setting that foundation is absolutely important. A couple weeks ago, I had the privilege to go on a Head Start and read a book to the class. And just it's not too many fathers that's going in there and doing it. So even kids that may not have their father in their home, I felt like that was impactful to them. Seeing a man come in there, sit down and take the time to read to them. So we got to be on these kids early on. It's not wait till they get 18, 17, 18 years old, and then you're trying to tell them what to do. They already became that person. You gotta start that early on and, train them up the right way. Thank you.
How many sports shape young men beyond the field?
Well, sports, it's like a structure to them. They already gonna be in an organized sport together. You got your brothers or sisters beside you, so that's something that's teaching them right away. Organization, something to look up to. Also, I coach football. We pick captains and leaders, so it also building them leadership. So we also make sure that they 8, 7, 6-year-olds that, hey, you're a leader of this line. You'll be a leader of this team. If you do right, you got structure, it's gonna go a long way. So we teach that into our kids as if you play sports. They also give them effort to be able to show effort, because we always push them to go to higher heights, to keep pushing. So they also give them drive if they don't get that at home sometimes. I always tell my kids, hey, I'm a business owner. I'm here. My time is important. So take your time, use your time wisely out here. You got anything to say? So sports, it brings fathers in their lives, mothers, whomever, and then, like I said, structure. What I take from it, though, it also is accountability, because you got to come, like we practice football Monday through Thursday. You have to be there Monday through Thursday at this time, dressed and ready at this time, and get ready for everybody. So that's what I got at this time.
Mr. Wolf, this question is for you. What mindset shift takes a man from surviving to building?
First, you have to recognize you're in survival mode. That's harder than it sounds. Survival mode can help form habits in you that, unless you're deeply self-aware, you won't even see it. You think you're just handling life. Once you see it, you have to admit something uncomfortable. Most of what works in survival mode isn't sustainable. It gets you through the day, but it won't build anything. From there, you've got to identify what you're actually surviving and what new habits will move you from reacting to building. At what point do we take ownership? It's right there. That's the moment. Survival mode can help feed a victim mentality. And if you're stuck in victim mentality, you're not building anything. To get out of it, you have to take accountability for the choices that led you here, not with self-pity, but with responsibility. Own it, and then take the steps to build something better. I think the hardest truth is every day is a conscious choice. You have to remind yourself what the goal is, why it's the goal, and choose to take one more step. Even when things don't move as fast as you want them to, especially then.
What are we getting wrong as
Said praising young boys, raising what we're getting wrong. Well, in my opinion, right now there's a lot of confusion going on in the world, especially when it comes to fathers and mothers getting along, fathers and mothers being together. A lot of the families are broken down right now, especially in certain communities, African American communities. We got a breakdown. We got a war between male and female. So kids are seeing this. Kids are a part of this war. Our kids are the ones being affected by this war more than we are, And we've probably all been in that situation where we're trying our best to solve an issue with a significant other or with the child, mother of your child, and you can't get nowhere with them, no matter what. It's like you got a whole mindset, they got a whole different mindset. So you teaching your kids this, they seeing this from you. Young men they may be seeing something different from their mother. They don't know whether to listen to their father. It's so much going on. If we don't fix our issues between the adults, how can we expect the kids to fix their issues? How can we expect better from our kids when we're not doing better as an adults? We're not taking accountability. We're not trying to work on our relationships. So young men are coming up confused. They're coming up in the world, okay, if they're with their mother all the time and they don't have that male presence to tell them, okay, you got to be a man in this situation. You got to handle this. You can't move emotionally off your feelings all the time. And not to put them in your shoes, not to expect them to be able to handle what you handle, but even in their world, and they might be in middle school. They got to be able to handle the teacher telling them, giving them constructive criticism without getting in their feelings. Some things, you got to be able to take advice and be able to take critique. When you have if you never learn and grasp that, like you said, authority figures and role models, if you never have those around and people that you can look up to and say, he doesn't operate like that kind of way. I want to mimic his, the way that this man acts or his actions, I believe that that's one of the hugest issues that we have right now. That's it.
Can I get on that?
Yeah, back up. Jump in with it. Jump in with it. I got back up, y'all. Come on. Let's go.
I'm past caring about getting in trouble, because you can't fix a thing that you won't address or you won't attempt to make light of. And what I see is, ask the question one more time before I go off on some way you didn't.
Let's get it.
What are we getting wrong as a community raising boys?
As a community raising boys. Gotcha. Okay. As a community raising boys, the top two things that we are getting wrong is, one, fathers lack confidence and they leave the hard parenting up to mom. And mom is creating boys that she wouldn't even date. Dads lack confidence, so they leave the heavy lifting up to mom, and mom is raising men that she wouldn't even date. That's the problem. As a culture, that's what we're getting wrong. Because I didn't say this earlier, but I'm married. I have 5 children, 2 boys, 3 girls, 5 granddaughters. I will pay somebody if they want to swap a grandson with a granddaughter. Just let me know. I can cash out you. Just let me know. Got to be the same age though. I don't want to. And I have 4 sisters. I have 7 aunts. I'm surrounded by women. The career field that I work in is 80%, 90% female driven. And I see the same scenario over and over and over again. I can always tell when children come in around my presence if their dad is around. If their dad is around, they look me in the eyes and they play with me. If dad is not, they bow their heads and they're standoffish. I judge men that I come around by how their children respond to them, how their wife or their girlfriend looks at them, because it's all telling. We've left communication for social media.
Yeah.
We talk through social media.
Facts.
We send each other memes and gifts, what we really think. Oh, babe, check this out. Hey, boo, what you think about this? Instead of saying plainly, hey, babe, what you did the other day, I wasn't really feeling that. Can we talk about it? Ladies, I should be able to tell you how I feel without it being now how what I said made you feel. That's the whole conversation. I can't, as men, we can't really express because it never really gets resolved. And men, how can our ladies follow parked cars? If we're not going anywhere, y'all know women are movers and shakers. They are ambitious. They are always trying to get to that next level. And so if you want a woman, you have to understand that comes with it. If you just want to do this and do nothing all day, you don't need a woman, a girlfriend, nothing. You're never going to be happy. You're never going to feel peace. Ladies, we like nothing. When my wife goes to work, I'll go in her office, sit in the window just like this with my cup of coffee for an hour. Think about nothing. Do nothing. But as men, because we are lacking in our confidence, because we're scared of being labeled as misogynistic or toxic masculinity.
They hit you with sassy now.
Now we're sassy. So we just say, you know what, you got it. Because we feel like a lot of times as men, we can't win. If we say something, we're being misogynistic. If we don't say something, we're disconnected, not involved, not caring, not feeling. If we get aggressive, we're abusive. If we don't get aggressive and just spend money on it, we're simps. We can't win. So a lot of dudes do check out. And so I know this is a little farther than the question, but I get so tired of walking and tap dancing around what the actual issues are. Yes, men in my father's generation and my grandfather's generation, they believe in straightening up their whole house, from the kids to the dog to the wife. Women were not treated fairly in society. They didn't make as much money. They did just as much work. The Bible says, love your wife as the weaker vessel. Weaker doesn't mean weak in a sense. It means delicate, meaning she has feelings. Don't come at her like you would come at me. Handle her a little more gently. But she's not weak by no stretch of the imagination. And if you get you a good one, whatever you doing, she gonna blow that joke up in a good way. But you gotta learn how to be delicate with her. And ladies, men, we're suckers when it comes to y'all. We are suckers. We will do things that we wouldn't have never done, especially when we said we love you. Man, you get away with all kinds of stuff. You get away with all kinds of stuff, bro. Stuff I would have never thought about accepting or doing. It's I find myself doing it. It's just like, what is wrong with me? I hear dudes talking. I'm gonna shut up on this one, bro. I can't even add nothing to this conversation. Because I just did that last week. And then I just said this conversation right now. But it's all communication. So the number one thing we're doing wrong is we're not communicating with each other. We're taking things too serious. We're looking to be offended. And we're not realizing when you have a child, we have one goal. It's to raise that child to be healthy, happy, strong, and productive. I didn't mean to hijack that, but it just was important to me. So, thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. All right, Mr. Radley, this question is for you. What are young men missing today?
All right. Well, you know, as men, we always think this uncomfortable when we about to put each other down. But what is a good man? You know, like what is a good father? What do we even know? You know what I'm saying? We saw our father do this. Well, I'm gonna say I was a single. My mom raised me alone. I mean, I had my father around, but I saw my father work. But I had to see my uncles be a father. My other uncle be a father and a husband. So I'm like, okay, Do I be like him? Do I be like him? Do I be like my dad? My dad making money. So we be caught up in this situation of saying, oh, I'm gonna be this man, but we really don't have direction, really. I mean, unless our Father's there completely to give us a lesson, which we still gotta be our own man to be a man, we think, so what is a good man? You get what I'm saying? So what is, so that's a difficult question, I would say, as far as where I'm getting to. So that's one of us, it's not clear for us to be a good man. The next one I really want to say on that is our passage, our way to get to become a man from a boy to man, like the boys to men.
Yeah.
So when we're teenagers, like you say about your child, we want to go and be with, like with me, coming up around here. M.A. Henderson, over here I got this crowd over here that we making straight A's. We're in the country club. We got cars, but over here, my cousins, they got weed involved. We don't know which way to go. So is that being a man to pick this side? The passage to becoming a real man, that's confusing too. So that's another one. Then consequence. Like when do we have accountability? We got to take accountability on becoming that man that we really want to be. Like we have to sit down and, I'm gonna say this because I start meditating. I meditate now to become, we gotta have our own peace to be our own self. Because like you said, we're running behind a woman. Oh, we love her. We're not getting the respect sometimes, like he said, that we deserve. So we confused. So that's why I say, pick up meditation, guys, as a father. Meditation to find yourself,
Man in the mirror.
to get your peace. So cause we gotta find our own peace to become a man that, because you got to get in your inner thoughts to become who you think you is, because like I said, it's hard for us because we really don't know, especially as I'm going to say the black community, it's tough. I know, it's tough for us sometimes. Yeah. We got temptation. We trying to be a good husband. There's temptation, money. You're not making enough money. You're making too much money. Being judged. So that's a tough situation. Then I'm going to go to another one to be a good man, mentorship. Get a counselor, get a therapist. Talk to your mom, talk to another father that you think is good. It's okay to ask somebody for help. That's another thing that be a good man that we really need. Mm-hmm. That a lot of us, that we forget that it's, like I got my father right now. I said, man, you all right, man? Yeah, I'm good, man. His wife called me, man, he got high blood pressure, man. He's stressed out. He was crying the other night. I said, damn, Dad. Excuse me.
No, you good?
I seen him out working on the house. I said, man, come and give me a hug, man. Good God. Man, you hugging me for, man.
Right.
It's okay. I said, Dad, it's okay, man.
Generations.
Hey,
man.
I never hugged you either, brother, but look, you gonna hug me today. So I'm big on hugging, mentorship. Your peace is everything. And another thing, being responsible at home as being a man. You gotta, a working guy, you gotta be responsible. And like I said, your peace is everything. And then I'm gonna leave off with this. So I wrote this down. Freedom without direction, which feel empty, is not empowerment. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta take that to, like I said, just get y'all peace, man, to be the man you wanna be, So I know I went along, but that's a good topic for me right there, because I'm confused a little bit myself, but I'm here, Yeah.
I think you covered this one pretty well. But ownership is one of the top examples you can set. Children are watching us at all times, whether we realize it or not. When we model ownership, we're showing them what it looks like to hold ourselves accountable. We're showing them how to make the hard decisions and to carry on anyway. And that takes discipline. But ownership isn't just about accountability when things go wrong or difficult. It's also about pride and faith in yourself when you build something real. When you own something, develop something, or create something with your own hands and choices, you prove to yourself that you can. A bird trusts its own wings to let it fly. Our children need to see us trust ours so they can learn to trust their own. Our world isn't short on examples of people who'd rather blame someone else. It's loud out there, but life goes on regardless. We all have to take ownership of our own lives and responsibilities if we want to become something better. If my kids learn one thing from watching me, I want it to be that when life gets hard, you don't look for someone to blame. You look in the mirror and ask what you can do.
Great job. Are y'all still with us? Y'all still here? All right.
Where my dogs at? Where my dogs at?
Oh, God.
There we go. There we go. So here's the last round of questions. Let's get it, guys. This question is from Mr. Brown. How do we create alignment between fathers, mothers, and systems? How do we create alignment between fathers, mothers, and systems?
So this goes back to that communication thing, you know, and if people are willing to work together and communicate, we can do anything. One example that I can think of is my daughter is about to go to college, UNCG. And me and her mother don't always get along. This is my oldest child. And during this process, my daughter made one thing clear. She wanted both of her parents involved to help her make this decision. She felt like this was more important than whatever issues that we got. And for this instance, I may not have been able to communicate or work together with her on a lot of different things. But this was one of those things that everybody put their pride, their ego to the side. And we took a beautiful trip out to UNC Greensboro with our daughter. And we walked the campus with our daughter. And the things that a mother needed to tell my daughter about being out in the world at 18 years old, what you can expect from a mother's point of view, she was able to point those things out. And I was able to be there as a father, giving her advice and instruction on what I felt like she needed to do as an 18-year-old child going out into the world. Like when I entered the military at 18, going out on my own and being able to give her those advices. So a lot of situations require both parents. It's perspectives from, you need the male perspective, you need the female perspective. And if you guys can work together, talk together, you can easily go to any institution, any college or trade school, anything with your child, even when it comes to being in high school, disciplinary actions, when you get called for, child misbehaving at school. It's essential that we work together. It's essential that we communicate. If something happened and you're not answering your phone, you want the school to be able to call the other parent. You want both parents involved. And it's a safety issue. It's not only safety, it's a way that we can help propel our kids to reach certain goals and certain points in life that they wouldn't have. Because I can't give her a mother's point of view. No matter, I can only give her my point of view as a father. I may be able to give her a lot of good information, but it's something I'm gonna lack. So if me and her mother can work together, it's just the strongest point that we can reach. Thank you.
What does accountability look like without structure at home?
Well, without structure, it's gonna disappear completely. Because I'm gonna just go back with me, my mother worked 2 jobs. I had nobody it wasn't no structure at the time. She worked 2 jobs, she left. So then I was self-disciplined myself. So I looked for routine things to do for myself. Nobody really put stuff in place for me. So I went to the gym, I played basketball every day. It was just like I put myself in scenarios where I thought I could be at in life. So luckily I chose the good thing, the best thing, but some people don't have that to be able to choose that right thing without the structure or the accountability. Another things without accountability or structure in the home, then you're gonna go looking out for others in the community. You're gonna look out for the peer. It's gonna be peer driven. So you're gonna go out and look for. You're gonna see Toe over there with the chain on and everything else, and then you like, well, should I be like Toe, or should I be like my man working at the cotton mill over here, or should I just, or he over here look like he got a boring life over here. So then it's gonna be self-driven to the TV, the internet, which I would say that it's one of the worst thing in our community right now, for them to always be on this tablet, which I know we don't have enough time all the time, so sometimes it's good, but they're getting their education, they're getting their own, they're being their own self by the internet. You know, they're becoming someone that we don't even know. So that's self-driven, and that's no accountability because they got the screen. You know, so what I do with my kid, I put a timer on it. You see what he watch. I know that's kind of crazy, but that's what I'm trying to be, to put a structure home in, you know, because I don't know what he watching. Another thing, what I put on here, you know, it's just a lack of guidance. And that's about all I'm trying to think. I got a little bit more topic I was thinking about. Without accountability and structure in the home, there's nobody really to communicate with, which we really need as in our community. You can't communicate. You can't, like I said, I'm big on, I don't know about y'all, I'm big on, my mom and my granddad used to always tell me, come on, cry. I'm a cry baby, I cry to them. You gotta lay that out, because if not, a lot of these guys don't cry. They're gonna go pick up a gun, and when they cry, they're gonna go shoot somebody, fight somebody. So it's good to have that structure and accountability at home. And without it, they're gonna lean to the streets and be angry and mad everywhere they go. That's why a lot of times you see kids and you be like, hey man, what's going on? They already mad at you. They don't have no structure, nobody to say, hey, you're wrong. Listen to this older man, listen to this guy, this teacher. They don't even want to listen to the teacher because there's no accountability or structure. So that's one of the big things that we need to have back in fathers and in our community. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I cry and get somebody a hug right now. You want to cry too?
Gotta let it out. You gotta let it out. Can't hold it in, man. Can't hold it in.
A lot of anger built in here, boy. A lot of anger. Yeah.
Mr. Wolf, last question. What role should men play in shaping their community?
So a lot that Jamon had to say earlier really hit close. And this question, you really brought it back. I grew up without a father actively present. And every man needs to understand that every child you interact with is learning from you. You're showing them what a man is, what a man should be, whether you mean to or not. And good or bad, they're absorbing it. I had many mentors growing up and over the years. Some taught me what to do, others taught me a lot of what not to do. I reflected on that a lot, often, today, every day. And how we carry ourselves teaches others. So men need to step up and be an example of leadership. We need to learn to manage our own emotions. I like the finding a mentor, get a counselor, be able to communicate is a big one. We need to be able to communicate with our women. But also, we need to challenge ourselves, and we need to challenge each other to be accountable and be better men. Find a way to work together, even when it's hard. And what happens if we don't step up? I think another generation grows up the way I did, looking for examples and finding the wrong ones or none at all. The cycle just keeps going. We're all God's children. We're part of the same world, same community, and for any of us to succeed, I think most of the time, it takes teamwork.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank y'all. Thank you.
One last thing I want to say real quick to you guys is children mimic what they see, whether good or bad. And the best show they put on is in the classroom. So let's make sure what they see is good and positive. So they won't be giving these teachers all the business that's happening at home. Because they can't give these teachers a whole earful and a whole show. So let's make sure what we're presenting and how we're acting in our homes is positive. So when they come back into the centers and they're in their different areas, they're reflecting you well. Thank you guys. I really appreciate sharing this today.
Give it up for Head Start and give it up for our panel. We do have, we did run a little long on time. We did have a few things that happened today. It was a big protesting rally, all kinds of things that pushed us back. But we do want to give a few minutes for anybody in the audience that wants to say something about being a father, or if you've got a comment or question, anything you want, anybody want to step up to the mic, this is the time. You come on up, brother. Come on up. Come on up. Come right on up. Yes, sir. And state your name first for us.
All right. So my name is Jamie White, and 47. So being a father to me is, I would say now, it's been the hardest thing ever. Like I was telling my man over there, because I'm trying to raise my kids. I got my wife, she has kids. They not my kids, so it's like hard. So I understand everything that y'all stated. I understand about the peace, because I get up 3 o'clock in the morning. That's the only time that I really have time to myself. Everybody sleep, wife sleep. I go to the gym. Everything that I've been dealing with, everything that I need to pray about, things that I need to talk to the kids about the next day, because it's like sometimes I probably fuss at them today. Right. Maybe I should not have said that. Right. So then that'll give me time to come back tomorrow. Yeah. Address the issue or whatever. So I'm still learning, you know.
It's accountability.
Right. So, what I'm about to say. My question was, how would you handle being a father to your kids, also someone else's kids? Because I'm looking online, stepdads, don't be a stepdad, right? To me, I hear it, but then it all depends on the individual, right?
Yes, sir.
And I think that it's frustrating, but it's also a learning experience. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating, but also a learning experience for me. Like, I really had to sit down and dedicate time to actually learn from them, because as I'm learning from them, I'm learning how to actually operate with my kids as well. Right. So ever since I've been married to my wife, and like I said, she has kids, and they ain't just 1 or 2. She got 5. Right. Yeah. So it's like learning after learning, day by day, learning how to conversate with them, learning how to actually really be there. So that's my question. How would you actually handle being father to your kids, also someone else's kids?
Okay. You want to answer that?
I already say, I had a stepfather.
Right.
And I was just talking about this today, man. It's crazy. What I see, like I said about peace.
Right.
You're gonna have to find each one of them an individual piece that is gonna make it work for you. You get what I'm saying? She got 5 kids.
Right.
So you already know she got 5 kids. So you know the mother got the attention. Now, how can you be a father for them in your household? Evolve, like I said, get to know each one of them individually, and then find something that all y'all could do as a family. You get what I'm saying? The bond, that circle. You know, even if a trip or a walk on the park, like I said, that meditation, or just find their favorite foods, just to see what each individual likes. Then you're gonna start knowing each one of them individually, what they like, what they listen to, who they like, what's their friends, what they dislike. Like you said, you've been the one off on them, and then you got to go back and say, oh damn, I ain't say the right words to little AJ. And let me go back and see what he disliked and not like, because you want to be there, a part of their life. So I say find something that is good for all of y'all together, man. Like I said, that's what me and my stepfather did. He used to let me drive at 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? I know it's crazy, but he used to let me drive. That was my bond.
Right.
And then after that, I'm like, oh shit, I like stepdad. I like Mr. Willie. Willie, all right with me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So find something that y'all can bond with, and also you learning them, and then they also learning you.
Yeah. That's
You know?
good advice. Good advice.
Okay, hold on. One more. I get that. But it's, I think it's more so far as me. Because I know the steps, but then it's kind of hard because I work from home. I'm always there, right? 24/7, every day. I'm seeing them, like, I don't be around a whole lot of adults. I be around them every day.
Yeah.
So it's like trying to find that bond, but yet to not be frustrated. I see y'all every day. I get frustrated. And it's like me teaching every day. And there's no break. So, I don't know. I'm lost. I'm lost for that.
So, so something I'm gonna say. So I do have 7 kids, and I also got 2 bonus kids. So I am a stepfather to 2 kids, and depending on a child's age, I feel like that role is different. So if you're being a stepfather to a younger child, you're more hands-on and you're more trying to get to know them. They might actually, look at you like dad.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? An older child that knows that you're not dad, you have to create a different bond with them. You have to pretty much not approach them as I wouldn't approach them more as an authority figure or a father figure. I would approach them as a resource or, a mentor.
Yeah.
More of a mentor aspect. I can give you information, I can guide you, but I'm not going to try to make you do anything, especially at a certain age. These kids are going to make their decisions on their own. So one thing about it, it's a cause and effect to everything. So they're going to be learning from, what we're trying to do is make them not have to learn the hard lessons.
Right.
So when you're 17, 18 years old, and you go out there and mess up, I can fuss at you all day, and if you disrespect me all day, but if you don't listen to this lesson, you're going to have to learn the lesson outside on the streets. So whether it's you end up in a gang and you're beefing with somebody and something happens to you, or the police get you something, if you don't have this respect for authority at home, then you're not going to have it outside of home.
Right.
So it's just, to me, you would have to, depending on the children's ages, you got to respond differently. There's no clear answer for that. Sometimes my stepkids respect me, listen to me faster than my own kids. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because of certain situations. So that's what I would advise. To just find the way you need to bond, depending on the age, it's going to operate differently.
And I would say, don't be afraid of family therapy, man. You sitting at home, working at home, a family therapist could come in and just cope with all of y'all, and it can help that out, because it's going to be needed, because you work home, my wife working home too.
Right.
And I be telling, like, get up off from that computer and let's go outside, and so
Put your feet on the ground, get some sunlight.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay. Well, we appreciate you. Appreciate it.
Good question, man. Good. Hey.
All right, who's next? Thank you. We got room for maybe 1 or 2 more people before we head out. Anybody else got any comments or any questions? Y'all good to go?
And
Y'all want to speak on fatherhood?
anybody got something to say about being a good father? Okay. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, you
No,
come
he
up
got
next,
nothing.
all right? And we'll close it out after that.
I'm not a father or nothing, but use this mic if you have a question. Okay. So I'm not a father, but I was just talking to my buddy over here, and one thing my father, Dr. Stephen Pearson, if anyone's familiar with him, he has passed away, but enjoy the failure. Don't, especially with your child and with your son, get them to respect failure, get them to enjoy
Process.
the whole process, because my dad was a military man. He had a box, multiple boxes of all these medals, all these trophies, all these things. None of them brought him joy besides looking at him and remembering the 100 times he failed to get to that point, to know that he could keep going and keep going and keep going. And that's kind of like what we were saying earlier. How do you know what a good man is?
Yeah.
A good man is the man that can look the man in the mirror and be confident and say, I've conquered you.
Yeah.
I'm better than you, and every day I strive to be better than you.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the one lesson I was very thankful my dad.
Yeah.
allowed me
Father's
to-
a good man too. I remember.
just Enjoy the failure in life.
And thank you, Corey. Thank you.
Yes, sir. He's good. One more. Then we're gonna close it out with Dr. Abdul Rashid. Okay.
My name is Lamonte Butler. I moved from Florida to here.
Hold it up, big dog. The mic up a little bit.
I moved from Florida to here to give my kids an opportunity in life. And my wife up and left moved. And I was speaking to Lynn about the situation. Now, I have a nephew. He's in preschool with, I keep forgetting her name. But Naima. He's in preschool with her. Now, the situation that he lived with me is that he's my nephew because I'm a great uncle to him because my niece had a baby, and now I'm raising him. I know at time will come when he asked me about his father and his mother. I have an idea what to say to him, but that's any other advice I can give him, I would love to know about this. I know when he's gonna ask me one day why my father wasn't there, why my mother wasn't there, but you there. I'm like, my advice would be to him that you may have father last name, but you can break that cycle.
Yeah.
And I want to know what other advice I can give him besides breaking that cycle, because I broke the cycle. I ain't knew my father. My father left me, but I'm married almost 20 years. I have 4 kids, and I told myself I want to not be like my father, but you know, the generation changed.
Right.
And he's coming up on that technology and all that, which I didn't come up with. What other advice would be great for me to give to him in the future?
One thing that I would suggest, and I know this, I have a huge family. I'm the youngest of 7 kids, all older sisters, and I've seen different scenarios. So a lot of times when we're looking at kids, we're like, you have a father and a mother. But sometimes other family members step in and become father and mother. Right. So if you're raising this kid, it's good to give them the information about who they are, be very honest and everything, but you are playing the part of father at this point. Just like some people are raised by a grandfather or grandmother, and they have that person because you're taking that place. You can't be the biological parent because you're not, but you are fulfilling the role. Some kids don't have anyone to fulfill that role. Right. That's when they really don't have a parent. But I would say it's time. My father was in my life, but he's 40 years older than me, and he's from Jamaica. So being in Henderson, he don't know nothing about it. To this day, he don't know what I went through growing up or being in Henderson, North Carolina. So I had an older brother or cousin or other mentors, people in my life that took on that role and helped raise me and helped me give understanding and knowledge that I appreciate to this day. And I looked at them like that's a second father to me because of how they played a role in my life. So you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're that person. You're in that child's life. You're acting as that role, as that parent. Just keep doing that. They're going to love you. They're going to respect you. You're going to do everything you need to do. You'll be blessed for doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I was going to say, show them love, man. Hey, look. Show that one that you're raising love and show them that you're there for them and tell them your struggles, that where you came through, tell them about your father. You know, tell them about what happened and where you coming from and where you going and what you're trying to do with your family. It's going to stick with them, man. Like, it's going to stick with them, man. Doing a good job, man.
I appreciate that.
Appreciate it. What's up, Ted?
On God.
Welcome, Mr. Abdul Rashid, CEO Franklin Vance Warren.
Let me ask you to give yourselves a hand and thank you so much for joining us this evening. They tried to convince me to get on this panel tonight. I am so glad I didn't get on this panel. These women had some very, very deep questions, and I'm impressed that you all were able to ride with those questions, fellas. But let me say, first and foremost, we were to be joined this evening by Terry David. He is the State Director for Head Start, North Carolina, and he was not able to join us at the last moment. because he lost his sister earlier today. She transitioned, and we want to send our special regards and condolences to Terry David and say to him on this broadcast that we hope to be available to support you and your family during this difficult time for you and your family. So please know that we are feeling for you and send you all the love that we can express to you and your family. Let me also say that fatherhood is in fact hard. The man in the mirror is a challenge. I listened to some of these questions and and I wanted to respond to the last gentleman that was here. Let me say to you, I never lived with my mother or my father. I met my father when I was 21 years old for the first time. I had other men in my life, basically an uncle. I had my grandfather in my life for maybe 4 or 5 years before he died. And I would join with the persons at this podium who said love doesn't have a definition or a title. I'm sorry, it doesn't have a title. If you give those young children in your care real genuine engagement, presence, example, I say to you that they're going to love you as a father, even if they never call you father. So I think it's more about how you present yourself, as how present you are in their lives, and how you can motivate them to be the best that they can be. And lastly, let me thank Naima and and her wonderful staff for again hosting us for this Man in the Mirror program. The food was good, the atmosphere was good, and your questions were dynamic. Thank the panel members for being here and being a part of this conversation. We want to keep this conversation going. And to those in the audience live, those in the audience by, Facebook and these other platforms, if you heard one thing, just one thing, that will enable you to be a stronger man in your home, in your children's lives, in the community, in the state, in the nation, in the world, then it was worth our time. Just one thing. You walk out of here with one thing that reflects that mirror so that you can see yourself becoming a better self, then it was worth our time. Thank Roy. Mr. Glover, you're a powerful man. I learn something from you every time I hear you talk. We want more from you. I appreciate your technical genius because he too is controlling all of our broadcast technology, him and Roy. So I want to thank all of you for being a part of this program. Invite you to join us in our next conversation, which will be around the Second Amendment. We want to talk about the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. And we're going to do that for our next session. And I invite you to join us as we talk about the right to bear arms, the Second Amendment of the Constitution of our great country. And as a black man, how could I not be for the Second Amendment? I'll just stop there. Thank you all again. Roy, I'm through.
Thank you.